Welcome to Triumphant Over Trauma, where resilience reigns and women rewrite their stories of victory after trauma. I'm Gina, your guide on this empowering journey. With a mission to help women overcome trauma, I'm here to inspire you to cultivate a positive mindset, embrace self-love, and find peace. Join me as we celebrate strength, reclaim power, and triumph over adversity together. Take a breath with me, love. A long, slow inhale and a gentle, melting exhale. Now imagine this. You're standing on a hill at sunset. The kind of sunset that turns the sky into gold, lavender, and fire all at once. The air is warm, soft on your skin, and the world feels just quiet enough for you to hear the truth pulsating inside your chest. This is the moment where your story meets your strength. For so long, you've carried your journey alone. The heartbreak, the trauma, the victories, the parts of you that never knew how to speak aloud. You survived chapters that would have broken someone else. Yet here you are, still rising, still climbing, and still becoming. But here's the one thing no one ever told you. Your story isn't just something you've lived through. It's something you're meant to pass forward. There is power in your voice, healing in your honesty, redemption in your truth. Every scar you carry has a heartbeat, a rhythm that resonates with someone who is still learning how to breathe again. Every time you speak your story into the world, you're not just freeing yourself. You're lighting the way for someone who thought they were walking in the darkness alone. Because healing is not meant to be a solitary climb. It is a shared ascent. One hand reaching up, one hand reaching back, one woman rising and inviting another to rise with her. And the beauty? You don't have to be finished to be impactful. You don't need to have it all figured out to be a guide. You don't have to stand at the mountaintop to inspire someone still in the valley. You just have to be willing to be real. Your voice can heal old wounds, not just yours, but the ones echoing in others. Your courage can spark someone else's courage. Your truth can breathe life into a woman who forgot she was born with wings. So today we're diving into the sacred, transformative magic of storytelling, the kind that frees you, fuels you, and forms bonds that are unbreakable. Today is about lifting as we climb, healing as we speak, and rising as we reveal. And remembering that your story was not just for you. It was meant to send a ripple effect through the world. So settle in, love. Let the sunset wrap around you. Let the warmth rest on your heart. Let yourself soften just enough to tell the truth, even if it trembles. Because this is the beginning of something beautiful for you. And for everyone your story will touch. As that truth settles into your heart, the truth that your story holds power, purpose, and medicine, let's gently shift into what this really means for you, right here, right now. Because before we can talk about lifting others as we climb, before we can actually explore how your voice becomes a lantern into someone else's darkness, we have to start with one simple, soul-shaking question. Why has it been so hard to tell your story in the first place? That's where our journey begins today. For so many of us, trauma taught silence long before it ever taught survival. We learned to hide, to shrink, to minimize ourselves so we didn't have to take up too much space. We learned to bury our pain so deeply that even when we stopped knowing where it lived, we learned to whisper instead of speak, to pretend instead of reveal, to endure instead of express. And the idea of sharing our truth, even with one safe person, can feel terrifying, exposing, or impossibly vulnerable. So in this next section, we're going to explore the real reasons behind that silence, how trauma conditions us to stay small and unseen, why sharing feels dangerous even when we're no longer in danger, the stories we tell ourselves about being too much or not enough, and how breaking that silence becomes the first act of self-liberation. This is where the shift begins, not in shouting your story from the rooftops, but in understanding the wound beneath the quiet and learning how to reclaim your voice one brave breath at a time. Let's take the next step together. Let's peel this back gently, layer by layer, because silence doesn't come from nowhere. Silence is taught. Silence is conditioned. Silence is shaped by survival. And your silence, beautiful soul, has always had a story of its own. Trauma conditions us to stay small and unseen. When you've lived through trauma, emotional, physical, relational, generational, your nervous system learns one primary rule. If I'm smaller, quieter, less noticeable, maybe I'll be safe. Your body remembers every moment you weren't believed, every time your needs were dismissed, every time speaking up caused conflict, punishment, or emotional abandonment. So you adapted. You dimmed your light. You softened your voice. You learned to make yourself invisible because invisibility felt like protection. And your brain, trying to keep you alive, filed that strategy under essential survival. It doesn't mean you're weak. It means you were brilliant enough to survive what you never should have had to endure. Why sharing feels dangerous, even when you're no longer in danger. Trauma operates on timestamps, but your body doesn't always know that time has passed. You can be safe in a room with safe people, living a safe life, and your nervous system still reacts like you're standing in the middle of the threat. Sharing your story triggers vulnerability, and vulnerability to a traumatized brain feels like exposure. Exposure feels like danger. So even now, when the danger is gone, your body whispers, don't say too much, don't reveal too deeply, and don't let them see the real you. Not because you're in harm's way, but because your brain remembers harm and it is trying to protect you. The hardest part of healing is teaching your body that the war is over. The stories we tell ourselves about being too much or not enough. Trauma plants seeds, quiet, insidious seeds that grow into beliefs. My pain will burden others. I shouldn't make a big deal out of it. If I speak, they won't understand. I'm too emotional. I'm not healed enough to share. Or, who am I to talk about this? These are not truths. They're echoes of someone else's voice that got stuck inside of you. Echoes from parents, partners, friends, and systems. People who couldn't meet you where you needed to be met. But here's the real truth, the one you were never told. Your story is not too much. It's medicine. Your voice is not enough. It's necessary. And the world needs women who are brave enough to speak into their fullness, not in their edited, softened, diluted versions. Breaking this silence is the first act of self-liberation. There comes a moment on every healing journey, a quiet moment, a trembling moment, where a woman says, "I'm done being silent." That moment is the beginning of liberation. Breaking your silence is not about shouting your trauma. It's about reclaiming your autonomy, your identity, your narrative. It's saying, "This happened, it mattered, and I matter." When you give voice to your truth, you teach your body a new reality. I am safe now. I am powerful now. I am allowed to exist fully. Your story stops being a cage and becomes a key. And each time you speak your truth, even in tiny, hesitant ways, you reinforce the belief that you are worthy of being heard, you are worthy of being seen, and you are worthy of taking up space. This is your liberation. This is where the climb begins. Let's talk about 5 simple and clear steps to help you share your story with power, purpose, and self-liberation. This framework will teach you how to step into your truth, own your voice, and share your story with power, purpose, and emotional safety. We'll call it the Storytelling Empowerment Framework. Step number 1. Honor your truth privately before sharing it publicly. Your story begins with you. Before you speak it into the world, let yourself feel it without judgment. Sit with your truth. Write it in your journal. Whisper it to yourself in the quiet moments. Because the power of storytelling doesn't start with an audience. It starts with radical honesty between you and your own heart. Here is an example. You journal about a moment you've avoided for years and finally write the words, "This happened to me and it mattered." That acknowledgement alone becomes the beginning of your freedom. Step number 2, identify the purpose behind your story. Every story has a pulse, a reason it wants to be told. Not every detail belongs to everyone. Not every audience has earned access to your heart. So ask yourself, why am I sharing this? What impact do I hope it makes? What part of me needs to speak? Maybe you want to release shame. Maybe you want to help someone feel less alone. Maybe you're ready to stop carrying a secret that was never yours to bear. Here is an example. You realize your purpose isn't to relive the trauma, it's to show someone else that healing is possible. That clarity becomes your compass. Step number 3, start with safe, regulated sharing. Your nervous system matters. Your body matters. Your safety matters. Sharing your story doesn't require ripping open the vault. It requires taking the next brave step that feels safe enough to breathe through it. This might be telling a therapist, opening up to a trusted friend, sharing a small part first, speaking in a group that is supportive, writing anonymously online. Here is an example. Instead of telling the whole story, you may say, "I went through something really painful, and I'm finally ready to talk about it." That single sentence is a revolution. Step number 4, speak from the scar, not the wound. Your story is most powerful when it honors your pain and celebrates your strength. You don't have to be fully healed, but sharing from a space where the story no longer controls you creates empowerment instead of re-traumatization. Speaking from the scar sounds like, this is what happened, and this is who I became because of it. Speaking from the wound sounds like, I'm still drowning, and I need someone to save me. Both are human, both are valid, but one brings relief and the other brings transformation. Here is an example. Instead of describing every traumatic detail, you focus on the growth, the lessons, and the rise that followed. Step number 5. Let your story lift someone else and lift you too. Here lies the magic. When you share your story, you're not just releasing your pain. You are creating connection. Your voice becomes a bridge. Your honesty becomes a lighthouse. Your healing becomes a map for someone else's freedom. Sharing your story breaks shame apart. It turns isolation into sisterhood. It turns survival into service. Here is an example. You speak your truth and someone whispers, I thought I was the only one. And in that moment, you both rise. Let's take a deep breath in together and exhale slowly, letting the weight on your shoulders soften just a little bit. Let your body settle. Let your heart settle. Let your soul come forward. Now imagine yourself standing at the base of a tall, glowing mountain. Not intimidating, not harsh, but warm and golden, like it's lit from within by your own inner fire. This mountain represents your story, every chapter, every scar, every rise, every truth you've carried alone until now. Take a step closer. As you do, see a soft light begin to illuminate the path. A gentle reminder that you don't have to climb in darkness anymore. Feel your feet connect to the ground beneath you. Feel the strength in your legs. Feel the courage blooming in your chest. Now place your hand over your heart. In your mind, whisper, my story matters. Feel your heartbeat respond, steady, alive, and present. Picture yourself beginning to walk up that mountain. Each step you take represents a moment of honesty, a moment of truth, a moment where silence loses its grip on you. With every step, you feel lighter, braver, more rooted in who you are becoming. Now imagine you reach a ledge halfway up, a place to rest. You turn around and behind you, you see hundreds of women in the valley below. Women who feel what you felt. Women who carry what you've carried. Women who don't yet know they're allowed to rise. They're looking up at you, not with expectation, not with pressure, but with hope. You lift your hand just slightly, and a warm beam of light flows from your palm down into the valley. This is your story, your voice, and your truth. And as the light touches each woman, you watch something breathtaking happen. They begin to rise, too. One by one, heart by heart, step by step. You turn back toward the mountain, and now the climb feels different. Not heavy, but sacred. Not lonely, but connected. Now imagine yourself reaching the next ledge, a ledge where your future self is waiting. She looks at you with eyes full of recognition because she remembers the moment you stopped hiding, the moment you stopped shrinking, the moment you decided your story was no longer a burden, but a bridge. She reaches out her hand. Take it. Feel the warmth, the grounding, the certainty. Hear her whisper. Your voice heals. Your truth lifts. Your story frees. Keep climbing. Someone's life is about to change because you spoke. And as you stand there with her, bathed in golden light, let this final truth settle deep into your body. You are no longer climbing alone. You are lifting the world as you rise. Take one more deep breath in and exhale softly. Begin to return to your space, but carry that light with you. Carry that courage with you. Carry that truth with you. Your story is ready, and so are you. If your heart is still open from that visualization, if your breath feels just a little deeper, if something inside of you whispered, I'm ready, then this next step is for you. Finding direction from within was created for moments exactly like this. Moments when a woman realizes she is done surviving her story and ready to start shaping it. Inside this journey, you'll learn how to reconnect with yourself on the deepest level. Your voice, your truth, your identity, your purpose. You'll unlearn the patterns that keep you quiet, small, or stuck, and rebuild a life that feels like you. Honest, whole, and powerfully aligned. Whether you want to move at your own pace with the do-it-yourself course or work more closely with me through guided support, you will be held, seen, understood, and encouraged every step of the way. And if you're craving sisterhood, the kind of community that celebrates your rise and holds space for your truth, you'll also receive access to our private women-only Facebook group, a sanctuary of authenticity, safety, connection, and deep belonging. Because healing isn't meant to be walked alone, and your next chapter doesn't have to be written in isolation. So if you felt something shift inside you today, a spark, a warmth, or certainty, I invite you to follow it. Visit www.bodyelementsmindelevation.com. Step into finding direction from within and give yourself permission to rise into the woman your story has been preparing you to become. You don't have to wait for the right time. You are the right time. And I cannot wait to walk this next part of your journey with you. Thank you for sharing the space with me today. Wherever you are, may your story soften in your hands, your truth shimmer a little brighter, and your heart remember that every word you speak becomes a lantern for someone still finding their way. Keep rising, keep revealing, and let your voice be the gentle miracle that lights the path ahead. This is Gina, signing off. Thank you for tuning in to Triumphant Over Trauma, where resilience prevails and women rewrite their stories of victory after trauma. Remember, healing is a journey, not a destination. Keep embracing your strength, cultivating resilience, and shining your light bright. You are capable of triumphing over any challenge life throws your way. Until next time, keep rising and thriving. You've got this.